Jesus' third statement from the cross is found in John chapter 19. He sees his mother standing there, and he sees the Apostle John nearby, and he says, "Woman, here is your son. Son, here is your mother." Have you noticed Jesus' first three statements from the cross are all focused on meeting the needs of other people? I mean, here he is. He's just been beaten and tortured and crucified, and yet his focus is completely on helping other people. The very people that have just crucified him, he says, "Father, forgive them." And then to the thief beside him, he says, "Today you will be with me in paradise." And now he sees his mom, and in essence he says, "John, I need you to take care of my mom for me." He's completely focused on the needs of other people, even in the midst of his suffering. But that shouldn't be surprising. And I'll tell you why. When Jesus was born, Mary and Joseph eventually take Jesus to the temple. And there they see that old man Simeon. And they place Jesus in the old man's arms. And they must have been perplexed by his words, because he says what seem to be such mysterious statements about a little baby. And then he looks right at Mary and he says, "And a sword shall pierce your own soul too." I'm sure Mary must have thought, what in the world is that supposed to mean? And I imagine she must have pondered on those words through the years. I don't know if she ever figured it out until this moment, but I can only imagine that standing there at the cross, when those soldiers took that spear and rammed it through Jesus' side, that those words came back to Mary. "And a sword shall pierce your own soul too." And I wonder what she was thinking in that moment, a mom watching her son suffering like this. You know, years ago, there was a guy at our church named John. Big guy, about 6'6", broad shoulders. He was an older guy, but one day I got a call to come to the hospital because his grandson, probably about 8 or 9 years old, was riding his bicycle and was run over by a car. And I rushed to the hospital. When I got there, John was on the sidewalk. They were loading his grandson up in a helicopter to fly him to Fairfax Hospital. And John had tears just strolling down his cheeks. And he kept saying the same thing over and over again. "I wish it were me. I wish it were me," he said. I wish I could change places with him. I wish it were me." I can't help but wonder if that's what Mary was thinking, standing there at the cross, watching her son suffer. I wish it were me. I don't know if that's what Mary thought. I do know that's what God thought. Because as God looked down through the corridor of time and saw the condition we were in, and saw the hell that we were heading to, he said, "I wish it were me." And he stepped out of eternity and into time. That little baby in that old man Simeon's arms, that's our Savior. That is God come into the world. And he grew up, and now he is pinned to this cross. And as Mary is standing there seeing her son, she is seeing the Savior of the world who came to die for us. Why is he so focused on others? That's why he came into the world. You know the old poem? "Others, Lord, yes, others. Let this my motto be. Help me to love others, Lord, that I might live like thee."